of course, India was the most formative experience in that sense, because, as I said, we lived in a kind of expat bubble. I mean, the school indeed was by then admitting lots of Indians from, I imagine, fairly privileged families, but we were quite segregated. I think there was only one Indian in Bombay, in Walsingham House School. In one or two in my class, we had Japanese, we had people from all over the world, but there weren't very many Indians. And one Indian, he was a prince. So it was a very, segregated sort of life. And my parents lived in this sort of expat bubble. I mean, I think they and I spent a huge amount of time in the kind of the club, the sort of, the big swimming pool. My mother sat under an umbrella all day drinking gin, as far as I can ascertain. And, I would come from school and have a swim. And so there was that world. And then, the world of India, which was very different. And I mean, my earliest memory of Pakistan is a memory of being a sudden kind of panic because a rabid dog had come into the compound. And there were people around. My other memories are to do with things like seeing lepers, to do with riots in the street. There was a kind of generalized fear of civil unrest, because there was quite a lot of it in Bombay. And one had this sense of a kind of slightly risky world that, was outside of the kind of bubble of the compound, or the expat world, which was much more exciting than the kind of, the sort of languor of the sort of swimming pool. And, this is why, being able to kind of escape that world and get in, somehow get out of it, and there were ways one could do that. One could sort of just go and talk to people in the street. One could, I mean, I took huge risks looking back on it now, but where I played or where I went, I mean, I never had any experience of trouble, but I was constantly fascinated by and wanting to know more about the land that lay beyond the kind of four walls of where we were all interred, so to speak. And that, I think, stayed with me, is that sense of fascination, but also the need to know more, the need to understand something that, was not accessible, as a child, certainly. So, and I was very aware of the kind of the prejudices of the British, expat communities, and really disliked it because, as I said, my immediate points of effective reference were actually the people from the countries that concerned, who were my friends, who were my confidants, who I spent time with, who I enjoyed, who were generous to me. We it was just, and looked after me, who were very nice to me. And that so that I can remember one horrifying instance to me when we were leaving Bombay, so I would have been 10 and a half, 11-ish. The bearer, who is the person who waits at table, because the caste system means that you have a number of different people who only do certain jobs in the household. The bearer was particularly fond of me, and I of him. And I remember at the airport, I rushed up to him and I embraced him, and he embraced me. We were sort of weeping together, and it moves me even now. And my father just, pulled me away and said, "You don't do that to him." And, and that sort of symbolized something.